Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Dana. I am a watercolor artist and I also love journals and journaling and planners and planning. So I thought I would go through my 2026 journal ecosystem. So this may get a little bit long, so strap in if you have a chore or task you want to do and just have me on in the background. I know that I love watching these videos, so I hope you enjoy. Now to start, I wanted to just overview all of the journals I'm going to show you, just in case you want to skip ahead to any one in particular. So these are my ring planners. They are more like to-do lists and calendar, daily type things. And then I have these 3 traveler style notebooks. This one's more of a memory keeper. This one is a watercolor sketchbook for work. And then this is kind of nebulous, but right now it's a long form commonplace. This one is my very in flux at all times notebook. And then lastly, I have I call it my Dear Diary journal. So before I actually get into this one, an important thing I'm doing this year is I want everything to be sustainable and reused as much as possible. I want everything to ideally be stuff I already have. I've cut up a lot of notebooks to use it for the paper in here. I'm just very feeling anti-consumerism this year, and hopefully I can maybe inspire some of that in you. I know we always want to buy new things, new pens and things, and obviously these were all purchased, like the cover and the pens and such, but it's also really easy to just want to buy more and more and more, when generally we might have a lot of just random stuff sitting around in our homes. We're all probably crafty people. I know I am, and I just have lots of things about. So I encourage you to go through and see, is there something that you can reuse, even just creating little scrapbook pages for your journals or inserts, things like that. That's really important to me, and I will actually show you. One of my big projects over the past week or so has been cutting up all the paper in my house, pretty much, from old notebooks, loose leaf paper, just anything that wasn't being used. I am someone that has tons of, barely used or half used notebooks. Maybe it's an ADHD thing, it probably is, whatever. So I basically sacrificed a bunch of those journals and decided, like, hey, I'm not gonna finish it, and that's fine. This was just the season of that journal. So you can see I ripped out all the pages. This one's kind of funny because I also cut off the cover and the back because I wanted to reuse it. Here's an old leather journal that is just, she's gone. And some of them, it was old journal entries, and so I cut them out and I saved them separately. So I used a paper cutter and a hole punch to create all of my own inserts. Like I said, I really like bullet journaling, so my plan is also to just handwrite or hand draw any layouts I want. I do like printing, and in the past I have printed out layouts. I actually designed and used a few from creators on here, so here's a layout that I designed based on someone else's. But it's just kind of an extra step, and it makes it harder to reuse papers like this. I don't know, or kind of really want to figure out how to print on this size paper. So I just decided I'm just gonna do what I can with what I have. I think it's a fun little challenge. So here are all of my pocket inserts from various notebooks. This is what comes with the Moterm, but I've just got a huge variety of paper types. And then in here, which this is the box that my personal Moterm ring planner came in, and the boxes are just so nice. This is all of my papers for my personal planner. Here is just a ton of paper for my ring planner. So we've got a lot of the Moterm papers, which are really nice and sturdy. I tore up some composition notebooks, so I have a good bit of composition notebook paper. I got a grid one and a regular paper, or a regular line. And then I saved all the offcuts, or most of them, to use as little things that I can clip into my planners. Might as well use everything I can, and I've seen people, it's like, instead of a sticky note, I just clip in a little sheet if I have to, like, write down a little note. I just love this. I think it's a fun challenge. I think it's a fun thing to do, and I am glad to be kind of clearing out all the stuff that just accumulates when you are a creative, which I think is lovely, but we can reduce, reuse, recycle. So we're going to start off with my ring planner. So this is my most daily use. It is a pocket ring planner. It is a Moterm cover in pebbled leather, burnt orange color. I have had this for almost a year. I got it around February of last year, 2025. I'm someone that I used to do a lot of bullet journaling. I really like undated things. I like to be able to change my mind all the time. I'm really bad at keeping up with dated calendars and planners and such. So being able to mix and match things, print my own inserts, move things around, change the way I do it, it just really is my type of system. So this serves as my wallet. So I have a few coins. I don't really carry coins a ton, but I must have been handed some at some point. I really try and reuse anything and everything I have. I have a few little jewelry tools, and I actually stole some from my mom recently. I didn't steal them, but I did raid her art room with permission. I had another charm last year, but I made a new one for this year. So this is a necklace I had. These are just charms that I had. I made this little bead charm. These are both things that represent my husband. So this is a necklace he got me years and years ago with the Aries constellation. And then there was this journal that we wrote our vows in, and it had this little lock and key. So now this lives in here. And then I got these kind of clear inserts. I don't love them because they get like weird and sticky, but it's fine. And then I use these to kind of create a little like scrapbook design page. I made this one last year. I was thinking of redoing it, but I just don't feel like it yet. So, and I just really like it, so it just might live here for a while. I did add this photo of my dog. In the back I had this like whole Alice in Wonderland theme going on because I got some cool paper from a friend. I've got a pretty little just divider that's just for looks, and I love having the little hangy ribbons. I think that's so fun and a good way of putting little charms. I get a little nervous about charms like breaking, so I just love having these ribbons in. This is from one of my random moleskin notebooks I had. I cut out the back because they have the pocket. In here I have some photos that I don't know what I want to do with, and then this is a ticket to Legoland that we need to not lose. And then again, just random stuff that I have. I do have these sticker books that have all these really beautiful stickers with like animals and fairies and forest things. And ladybugs represent my great-grandmother and my family. So I found that in my mom's art room and just stuck them everywhere. Here you can see my bullet journal girly come through. So again, I didn't want to print anything, so I just found this paper in an old notebook and I drew out every single month. It's a little tedious, but I did them for all the months, so now it's done. If I mess something up, I'll just redo it, whatever. I actually ran out of the notebook paper for that, and so halfway through I had to switch to a different lined paper, which again, it's fine, it's whatever. I got this planner for Christmas, and so when I got it, I actually also got this divider with the pen loop. So on this, I put the sticky notes, and it has my pen. And then this has been like my to-do list section. I reset this whole planner like a week ago, so we're still figuring it out, and that's just how it's gonna be. So I have kind of to-do list things. I started trying to like write out a week and see what that looks like. And now I'm playing with, like I showed you before, these random scraps, putting a week on there, and then being able to clip it onto different pages because I like being able to see the day and the week together and just using the week as a reference instead of writing to-dos on the week, because sometimes one day has a lot of things, sometimes it doesn't. So another little divider with a photo of me and my grandpa, and this is kind of getting grubby and messed up, but again, when I get inspired to make a new one, then I'll make a new one. This is my TBR. So I kind of like that it's all this like scrappy random paper. This is like actual loose leaf paper. I wish I had cut it without this line, but it is what it is. So I have my TBR. Sometimes I like being really precise and clean, and I think it's so beautiful, and people have that amazing handwriting, and I do like nice handwriting. I want to improve mine, but I also think it's kind of fun to just have this like scrappy, messy look. I started a list of like comfort movies, things like when you're like, oh, I really want to watch this, but I don't know what I want to watch, or I'm not feeling well. Like, you always forget everything you've ever wanted to do or enjoy. So I'm starting some lists of things like that. This is a symptom journal that I had in a moleskin, and I didn't like having it separate, so I just cut it up and put it in here. Another divider with the cover page of my tarot deck. And then this is just notes. I took them all out from before, but from last year, I would take meeting notes in this. I don't do a lot of meeting notes, but I volunteer for a nonprofit, and so we do have to like talk and do things there. And I know it's super tiny, but it's a nice place to put these meeting notes. I'm not working in such a way that I have like a ton of stuff, like work stuff to write out. So I like it in here, and I like this grid, but I did print it, so we'll see what happens when I run out. And then this whole back section, I won't show you, but it is referenced. So this is my doctors, my medications. I started putting some phone numbers in case I lose my phone. Stuff that it's really nice to have on hand, and I'm always going to have it because this is my wallet. And as I said, this is my wallet, so here's all the wallet things. And then here's where I stuck some of those sheets that I can use to write my weeks and whatever else I can come up with. And I have my 2 pens. These are the Zenith pens. Yes. And I just got some new refills in different pretty colors. This one's actually green. I like these because they're refillable. And then this is my Zebra Sarasa pen in red black, which you can do any refill, but I got it with the red black, and I continue to buy the red black because I really like that color. Oh, and I also didn't show this little charm that I made recently. It kind of just gets stuck down here, but it was just a pretty little thing. I did a lot of random projects in this kind of space after the holidays and before the new year kind of thing, which was very fun. So now we move to my personal rings. So this was a Christmas gift for this year. This is the Personal Rings Planner Moterm brand. That was a really weird way to say that. This is a Moterm Personal Rings in plum in vegetable tan leather. I really love Moterm, I guess. I mean, I haven't tried any others, and I know Filofax is like the gold standard. This is a bit more affordable. The pebbled leather is even more affordable, which I do love. My dream color was actually the chestnut, which is this color. My dream is the Personal Rings Elite in chestnut with the caramel on the inside. Oh my gosh, it was so pretty. But it's just sold out everywhere. I even like reached out to Moterm to see if they're gonna restock. That feels so silly, but whatever. And they said they didn't think so. But I was like, you know what, this plum is really beautiful too, and it is, and I really love it. And of course, now that I have it, I'm like, oh, this is incredible and beautiful. And it's the elite style, which means it doesn't have the big back pocket, which I really like because I didn't feel that was necessary for this size. Honestly, like, I don't feel like it's super necessary even for the pocket, but it is what it is. And this is brand new to me. It's only been like, I don't know, a week, so I have gone crazy and already decorated it, but it's always going to be in flux for a while. And I'm so excited, and I'm really proud of how this looks right now. With all the materials that I borrowed from my mother, I actually made this charm. She just had all this jewelry stuff, and so I made this beautiful charm, basically just taking apart necklaces and chains and things I had. I just have it connected to this little paper clip, as well as this little guy that has a photo of me and my husband, and then my dog. In here I have this I got from a local craft fair. I actually traded when I did a local craft fair, I traded this with another vendor for some of my art. Never known what to do with it, but it's so cute, it's so beautiful. And a while back I had started writing in like sort of like an affirmation for myself. So like this is an example where I sold a commission to someone, and she messaged me to say that when the LA fires happened, her husband picked up my painting as like something they didn't want to lose, and that just like was so sweet and made me so happy. So I've started filling that in a little bit more, and I thought, whatever, it kind of makes this a little chunky, but who cares? It's mine. Here I have 2 business cards with washi tape on them. These are actually of 2 women, wonderful women who I admire. This is a local artist, and this is a friend from a business group online that I'm a part of. Hi, Bonnie, and hi, Taylor. I think I mentioned before, I had a friend give me just a bunch of random scrapbook things that I think her aunt or someone had, so I just cut out a few of my favorite little things in there and just stuck them in here. This is actually an ornament hook that I got from my mom, so that just lives here. And then lucky $2 bill. I actually saw this on Life with Hope, that she had her $2 bill in there. I'm pretty sure this is true. I hope it is. It's like family lore that you're like, is this actually true? My great grandmother loved to give these out to all the grandchildren because lucky $2 bills. So I'm pretty sure this is the $2 bill I've had since I was a kid. So I just clipped it to another one of those scrapbook papers, and she lives there. Getting into the guts. I made this divider with just double-sided lamination paper, like you're supposed to put a piece of paper in between, so I just didn't, and then cut it out. And then on here, I'll probably just switch this out because I think it's fun, but I have a fun little resolution that I want to remember, and then another resolution that I kind of came up with in this like ritual I did. I can get into that, but and then just some stickers and then some decor. Again, Life with Hope, I believe she mentioned that is this right? I think it was her. That she mentioned that her word for the year was romantic, and I said, I love that, and I just stole it. And this is all stuff from like a Valentine's Day set. This is also my like, if this gets lost, please give it back. I'm really happy with this little craft. This is just full of crafts, pretty much. This was like the pocket in the back of a notebook that I tore up, and I really wanted like a big pocket that I could put stuff in from the side. So I cut that up, but you know, it was like too loose. So then I just kind of like put this together. I built this pocket basically and attached this and made it so I can kind of like close it up. And here is more of that scrap paper. I've got these time tracker little notepad things that a friend got me, and then a few more of my favorite little doodads from the scrapbook paper. I just made this. This is my 2026 resolutions, which it was inspired by a post that someone made of like having fun resolutions. Like her resolution was to like eat every shape of pasta in the year, or like someone was like, I wanted to wear more red, and I was like, I like that. So I came up with a few of those and then just kind of scrapbooked it a little bit. I think this is going to be sort of like project planning and notes. So like I wrote out a script for sort of this video, kind of, which I'm not really following, but whatever. And then I also wanted to play around with meal planning, which I'm bad at, and me and my husband like literally never do, but I was like, let's try it. An Amy Y'all inspired good luck spot. Give me luck. I made an inbox inspired by Sleepy Notes Club, and then this is all of my commissions currently. Here I've got a pocket. This is what I cut out from that larger moleskin, and I just came up with this and I feel very smart. But I have my handy dandy steel ruler that I love for little things, and I glued a little ribbon to it so that I can pull it out super easy. Look at that! And then this is just another one of those scrapbook things, and it's just kind of to be cute. She's just like to be beautiful, and she is doing her job. I started a line a day because I did do something similar at some point in my life, and I liked being able to look back on like the months. And then I did a gratitude one, and I am not going to be upset if I skip days or if I just stop doing this altogether. That's fine. That's fine. This is the note that my husband gave me when he proposed. I found this little quote. I think this again was Life with Hope. This is only, oh my god. There is only one happiness in life: to love and be loved. This is another notebook I took apart and just cut it off. I love these CD notebook paper. it's like so smooth and beautiful. Another laminated divider because these photos like to stick to the paper. This is my like a journal section. This is like sort of like your diary, I guess, but it's like I like being able to journal anywhere at any time. So even in here, I've journaled before. It's partly like I'm out and about and I don't want to scroll, or I am like really angry about something, or whatever. Like I just will sit and write. Next we have the back of that notebook, which serves as like a little divider. I mentioned I cut up composition books. This is funny to me, but like whatever, I think it's kind of cool. In the back of the composition books, there's like reference because it's for school, right? So there's like fractions and decimals, how to like convert things. We have a multiplication chart and changing temperature. I should have put this backwards, but whatever. Metric conversions. I feel like, and I don't love this feeling, I feel kind of dumb sometimes because I've never been like great with math, and especially after not being in school. And I also studied design in school, so I didn't do a lot of math. I don't know my freaking multiplications. I don't know decimals and whatever. So I'm just gonna have this, and hopefully I can remember if I'm like bored, I can flip through this and take a look and maybe like, I don't know, practice it? I don't know. I just thought that was fun and cute. This is some homemade sticker release paper. I have a shit ton of sticker paper. I mentioned I'm a watercolor artist. I make my own stickers, or at least I have at some point, and I accidentally like left on a subscription, and so I have so much sticker paper. So I really need to make stickers. I just took the sticker sheet off, and this is like the backing, and I just glued 2 sheets together and then cut it out. And now I can just like stick stickers on it. This is another divider I got, just like the one in the pocket. And this, I stuck a bunch of sticky notes. I don't really use sticky notes a ton. I always see people have them in their journals, but I have all these sticky notes and I don't use them. So this is my like, just use the sticky note. And again, I want to use the things I have. So I'm going to use the things I have. And then this, I'm excited about, is my commonplace. It's more of like a shorter form commonplace area. This is like when I thought I was going to do that in my pocket notebook. So I have like, this is a quote I really like. I wrote about Pluribus, which we were watching. I just added these. This is about tea that I just got. And this is the resolution you may have seen. I identify 100 birds and learn something about each one this year. So I went outside today with my binoculars and I stood in the backyard and a downy woodpecker just showed right up. So I said, here you go, starting off strong with the downy woodpecker. So I just looked up the Wikipedia article and wrote some things down, and I think that's so fun. And I wrote little number 1 so that I can keep track. So I'm really curious to see like if this fills up, if I have to like empty space somewhere else or whatever, but I just think this is so fun. I could explode. Like, this is, what a fun hobby. What a fun world to have fallen into. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. We have to finish the video. I'm so sorry. And then this is the back of, I think, one of those moleskin notebooks, just as a, I don't know, divider. And then I just needed this because I have all these, like, I have a bunch of the Crayola markers, and none of them look the way that you think they're gonna look. So I was like, when I was coloring this in, I was like, I need a place to swatch, so I just made that here. And then in the back, I have this postcard that I got from Hawaii, and it's just been sitting around forever, so now it is the perfect pencil board. So I can use it like if I'm writing, it kind of helps have a place to put your, this, or if you're like writing, you know, on top of a chunky page. So I am so excited about this. I'm really curious to see how it patinas. It's already got like some little marks. See, like marks kind of easy, which I think is great. And I think it shows character and it shows that it's used and loved. And I'm just so excited for this. Okay, next up, I hope I haven't lost you. If so, that's okay. Do what you want. So this is a traveler's journal that I made myself during the, you know, Louise Carmen Paper Republic craze. I don't know if that's over or if that's when it began, but I feel like it blew up on TikTok. and I was like, I want to do that, and I did. And I made a bunch because I got this leather in a big chunk. I got like, you know, a few yards of it or something. And I said, I'm going to make a bunch and sell them to make the money back, and I did. And of course made a few for myself. A ton of charms that I just had about. I love this. This is earrings that I don't really wear earrings, so I put them here. It's so thick that I have two elastics holding it together. This one changes a lot, which again, I think that's fine. That's like the benefit. That's like what makes this so fun. So another craft I picked up. This is a watercolor sketchbook that I created myself as well. I use Arch's watercolor paper for all of my work, and it's just like the only paper I like. So I was like, oh, guess what? I can make my own. And it's kind of like not the best made, but whatever. And so I created the covers just from cardstock and paper stuff that I had. I also made these pen holders. This is a brush. How fun is that? This is like it's like a memory keeper, but also just like my sketchbook. I've never been like a big sketchbook person, so it's kind of like I want to practice. So I've been using it, you know, trying to pull it out when I was at like a coffee shop, or I went on a date with my husband. This is my desk and my view and things like that. This is a palette that my husband made me, so I could just kind of store this somewhere else, but it fits in here, and I think that's kind of fun. So that's where it is sometimes. Now this is my memory keeper. This is a Stalogy A6 365, and I got into junk journaling as well last year, and now this is sort of my like, I would say daily, but I definitely don't do it every day, but it's like, you know, want to keep my memories and do like little scrapbook pages sort of. So I have another card with washi here. I stick things in it from things we've done. I'm trying to, you know, let myself draw things and play. I started playing Hello Kitty Island Adventure, and we were playing the Jedi Survivor game, and just like silly things. But I'm really loving this, and it's really big. I sometimes want to just carry it around, and sometimes I'm like, I really should just have it on my desk, but whatever. Next we have this A5 Hobonichi cover that I turned into a traveler's notebook. I had this when I first got my Hobonichi cousin last year, and I was using it sort of for like planning, and then also junk journaling and scrapbooking, memory keeping. And then I kind of stopped using it, and so then I was like, what do I do with this cover, because this cover is beautiful. I decided to turn it into a traveler's notebook, so I punched holes and put the elastics. This was kind of a mistake, but these rivets just kind of hold the cover together. They hold the plastic to the cover. We'll ignore this for now. This is a Hobonichi A5 grid notebook, and this is my long form commonplace. This is like me trying to take notes on like, it's like I'm just trying to study, you know. It's like quotes that I like, and I'm writing about books that I read. Again, this is not consistent in any way, shape, or form. It just when I want to do it, and I do try and like encourage myself to do it. And I'll journal in it if I am feeling the need. I just recently printed out this TikTok that I like to take notes on. It's like essay type stuff. And then I just did this a few days ago. I don't know if this is going to stick. I want to practice my handwriting, and I found this Palmer Method free workbook type thing, which is like an old school method of learning handwriting. And I printed it like a little booklet. I didn't even like sew it together. It's just held together with all the elastics. So my goal is to read through it, use it, maybe use this as the practice. So that just is what lives in here at the moment. This one's quick. This is, when I was making all those traveler journals, I tried making a bifold to see if I liked it for, you know, like multiple notebooks, and I didn't, just because it's not a very stiff leather. I think I would like it better if it was stiff leather, but it worked perfectly for another of these watercolor journals. And this one is specifically for work. It's like my palette when I work on commissions and things, explorations for like bigger paintings I might want to do. I use the big clip to hold it in place. And then last but not least, I always need to have like a journal, so like Dear Diary, today I cried type thing, you know, like my mom pissed me off, that kind of thing. I've always had them. I love this notebook. It's huge, and I do like the spiral bound. This is like from a local artist, I think. I got it at Barnes & Noble, and it doesn't exist anymore, so once she's gone, I think she's going to be gone forever. And I have been thinking about maybe I might put a different notebook in here, and that'll be my journal, but I have this like by my bedside mostly. I kind of go back and forth doing like regular writing and prose and feelings and working things out, and then I also do a lot of scribble journaling, so literally scribbling while I'm thinking type thing. So it's like stuff I don't feel like I can write down, or sometimes if my hand hurts and I don't want to write, I'll just do it like this. I always need something like this. It's very healing, especially if your brain is really loud sometimes. I like to have something like this to just get it all out, you know? Get it all out. And that's it. That is all my journals that I'm going to be using for 2026. I say that I'll probably come up with new things to do. I do really want to start a new like junk journal scrapbook type thing. So I actually got this for Christmas as a gift, which was very sweet, and it's very reminiscent of all the journals I used to get from Barnes & Noble as a kid for my daily journaling. And it's just beautiful blank paper, and I think this would be perfect as like a more intense scrapbook, memory keeper type thing, so I'm excited about that. I know this was probably long, so thank you for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed it. I do love these types of deep dives. It's fun to see what everyone does. I get inspired by other people. So I hope that I might have inspired you in any way. If you have notebooks lying about, I so strongly encourage you to either whip them out and use them in some way. Like, don't feel like you're pressured to use a journal a certain way. You have to do this or that. It has to look pretty or whatever. It's for you. So I highly encourage you to try and make use of what you have. And if you are interested in getting into ring binders, that's also a good way of kind of using all that stuff up. These can be an investment, but I've definitely found a lot of affordable ones online. There's even those like clear ones that I think are super affordable. And if you're trying to figure out like what size you want, I think it's a great idea to actually lay it out and see what you think. So this was actually one of my journal entries. One of my commonplace entries was me trying to figure out what size notebooks I wanted. I printed out the comparison of all the common sizes, the sizes of like specific notebooks I was thinking of, and then this is a to scale sheet of, this is like an A5 sheet, so what is an A6 compared to that, things like that. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed. I am really excited to make more content like this. I think it's really fun, and I'm excited to make more connections and branch out past just the art I make, even though I also would love to share the art that I make. So I hope to see you soon, and I hope you have a great rest of your day or night or week or month or year. Bye!